What's up guys, Swan here. A couple weeks ago, I participated in my first ever game jam, the Pirate Software Game Jam 15. I learned a lot doing this and I had a lot of fun, so I just thought I'd come out here and talk to you guys about my experience. Maybe you can learn something from it too. Let's get into it. Now, I feel like before I can talk about the jam itself, I have to talk about the events that led up to me joining it in the first place. So before the jam, me and my buddy Builderman were working together on our first game. And I mean first. We didn't really create a test project or anything to learn Godot or anything about game development in general before diving into it, so this really did become the test project. We sunk a lot of time into this and I did have a lot of fun making it, but honestly, the project was not great. Maybe you guys will see a finished version of it someday or a prototype or something, but anyway, that's a story for another day. Ever since I got started in game dev, I've been consuming a lot of game dev content on YouTube and Reddit, and I've heard a lot of people talking about game jams as a great way to gain experience and to interact with the community. And since I wanted to get a fresh start on a new project, I started shopping around. So I went on Itch and I saw that the Pirate Software Jam was starting within a week of when I started looking. If you don't know who Pirate Software is, then I seriously do not know how you found my channel. He's a pretty huge streamer right now and more or less kind of the mascot of the game dev YouTube community at the moment. So I decided to go with this jam for a variety of reasons, mostly because I really enjoy Thor's content and especially what he says about game dev. Watching his videos and shorts really inspired me to get started in general and made me feel like I could participate as well. The prizes for the jam were somewhat of a motivator, but with nearly 16,000 teams signing up for the jam, I really wasn't thinking about that at all. So with that, it was only natural that we started on this one. I think the best thing about participating in a game jam is that it gives you license to sort of just mess around and be creative and, you know, throw out some crappy ideas, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, but you definitely gain some experience and hopefully put something together in a short period of time. At the end of the day, there's zero pressure to deliver a finished product or something that's even remotely polished or functional. It's really just about learning and having fun. And one thing that really helps with this vibe is the fact that game jams have a theme. If you're anything like me, when you're trying to be creative, you sort of switch between two states. You're either coming up with ideas and you have all these creative juices flowing, or you're motivated, but it's hard to be both at the same time, which is where you need to be when you're creating stuff like this. This is why themes can be so helpful. A theme is sort of just an idea or a seed to kind of build your game around. You know, they're usually a sentence or like a phrase or even just one word. And as long as your game is tangentially related to the theme, you're good. I mean, if you're really trying to focus on getting attention from the judges and getting a good score from them, then the theme needs to be incorporated into both the narrative side, what is actually on screen and like who your characters are, as well as the gameplay side. You need to incorporate it into, you know, the actual mechanics of the game. But ultimately, like, it doesn't matter. If you're doing a game jam, you don't need to be worrying about this too much. Personally, I was pretty interested in finding a way to incorporate the theme into the gameplay elements because that's what I can control. So I was kind of disappointed when I saw that the theme was shadows and alchemy. I feel like on their own, either of these would be great themes, but together, it was just kind of confusing. I mean, seriously, just sit for a second, pause the video, and try to think of a game that can fully incorporate both shadows and alchemy into the narrative elements and the gameplay elements of the game. It's not easy. So most games that I saw in the jam, including my game, very loosely touched both of the themes. So me and Builder threw a couple ideas around. You know, we had an idea for like a stealth noir kind of game. We eventually landed on an idea that pretty much captures both of the themes. It's a game where you play as a vampire bartender. The game's title? And if you're wondering, the X is silent. The original idea for this game was to craft individual cocktails for different kinds of monsters, each which has their own preferences for what goes in their drinks or what drinks to order. I did put together a prototype for a game like this, but our artist was really worried about the amount of assets they would require, and it just didn't stick. So we pivoted. After a few days of working on that prototype, we decided to completely shift gears. Bloodthirsty was going to become an arcade-like time management drink serving game Less about making individualized drinks for specific customers or monster types, and more about fulfilling a large number of orders that increases in like a round-based fashion. But I really wanted the alchemy component to be a significant part of the gameplay, so I decided on this core gameplay loop. So first off, you start serving drinks. After that, you choose a stat to increase. And finally, you use your tips from that night to buy ingredients and enhance your brew for the coming nights. It took us about a week to nail down this basic gameplay loop. And after that, all that was left to do was So yeah, a little over a week into the project, we had all the basics done, but the game was still lacking what I see people refer to in the community as juice, or maybe polish, or just both. It was missing both. Honestly, we were pretty fortunate to be this far into the project to have the basic loop done at this point, and we were even more fortunate to find help to get us past the finish line. One thing that we had definitely put off completely was the music and sound effects for the game. Now this is something that neither me nor Builderman had any experience in whatsoever, and I don't think either of us had any intention of learning or trying to make something just for the purposes of this project. I think our plan was pretty much to just find some DMCA free or, copyright free music and sound effects to put in the game and pretty much just call it a day. But I went into the Pirate Software Discord where they have, different places to talk about the game jam. And there was a looking for group channel in there where I found a composer. And so Elaine Figge joined the team. I also found someone to help out with more of the design and asset side of things, and that was X. So now that we'd assembled the dream team, we got to work on finishing pretty much everything. Elaine was grinding on the music and the sound effects, Builderman and X were working on everything from backgrounds and sprites to UI, and I was pretty much putting everything in the actual game and trying to implement as many interesting or dynamic mechanics as I could. And honestly, towards the last couple of days, it was quite the nail biter. I remember there were some long nights and some last minute creative decisions. We would have liked to add some more elements to the game because I feel like for a game like this, the more stuff you have in it, the deeper it's going to be. So ingredients, monster types, stuff like that is only going to make the game even better. So at the end of the day, I think we had 9 ingredients, 5 or 6 monsters, and 4 perks in the game, which was pretty good. It's a jam game. So the game was finally done, and we submitted it. But I don't think any of us were prepared for The judging period for this jam was 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks felt like a year. Honestly, at the point we submitted, we knew that Bloodthirsty had its flaws, but honestly, it was a pretty solid game. And the great thing about this period of time is that it gave me an opportunity to test out some of the other games from the jam and not only see what the competition is, but to see how creative other people could be and how different some ideas could be based off the same theme. And man, there were some seriously awesome games. I would definitely recommend checking out the winners from this jam, as well as the list of my favorites down in the description. All the games submitted had to be browser playable, so you don't even have to download anything to play them. This time was really all about community interaction, and that's definitely what I got out of it. And to my surprise, and I think the surprise of the whole team, out of the nearly 2,500 games submitted, Bloodthirsty was consistently in the top 10 list of the Game Jam games in terms of popularity. Now, what popularity means exactly, it's hard to say, it's just pretty vague about it, but still, it was cool to see our game up there. This is an accomplishment we were all really proud of. Our itch page got a few followers. I made a devlog post about, what went into making the game. That's pretty much the same content as this video. But ultimately, this time was just nice and chill. It felt like a victory lap. This is a moment I still cherish because it was all about to come to an end. The judging period for the jam ended officially on a Wednesday, and Bloodthirsty got pretty good marks. So after we saw the scores, we were all waiting to hear when Thor was going to announce the winners for the jam. We waited a few days and people were growing impatient, and then Thor finally said that he was going to announce the winners on that Saturday. So Saturday rolled around and I listened to the stream, and spoiler alert, Bloodthirsty did not win. I had some stuff to attend to in my personal life, so I stopped watching the stream. And then a few hours later, I was checking my Discord and I saw a few people from the Pirate Software Discord had DM'd me. So I checked it out, and to my surprise...
Alright, we're back. So, Blood X Thirsty is actually really goddamn good. This didn't win, but I did think it was quite fun. I love these types of games. I love the idea of doing this, of setting up like a bar that you have to go and do stuff with. I'm gonna link this one in chat too.
Let's go! Guys, I cannot tell you how blown away I was to see that Thor had played our game. Okay, you can go. You can go. Sorry. I'm just excited. Even though the game wasn't a winner, just to be acknowledged by Thor was crazy to me. It really blew away my expectations for how the game would perform. It definitely gave me some motivation to keep working. So yeah, those are my thoughts on my first game jam. If you guys are interested, I can make a video where I go into detail about some of the mechanics of Bloodthirsty, how I made it, and pretty much, you know, just the guts, the architecture of how it works. But other than that, yeah, make sure to check it out, give it a play, tell me what you guys think, and be sure to check out the Game Jam winners and my personal list of favorites that I played from the jam. All that's in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.